You made it here, Mama, and that matters more than anyone gave you credit for. This isn't just a podcast. It's a lighthouse, a reckoning, a remembering. I'm Marisa, a single mama who knows what it means to lose everything you thought you needed, only to find yourself stronger, softer, and more sacred than you ever imagined. Love Letters to Single Mamas was born from the ashes of survival, but it is not about surviving anymore. It's about becoming whole, becoming seen, becoming the main character in your own life. Here, we tell the truth about the hard days. We celebrate the messy, the beautiful, the unbecoming, and the rising. We laugh. We cry. We break the silence around what single motherhood really feels like, and we're building something new from it. This is a community, a movement, a love letter to the woman you were, the mother you are, and the legend you're already becoming. You're not just welcome here, you're needed here. And if you're holding your breath right now, wondering if you're allowed to want more, to dream bigger, to heal louder, let me be the first to tell you, you are. So exhale, Mama. Welcome to Love Letters to Single Mamas, Season 2. Hello, Mama. Welcome back to Love Letters to Single Mamas. I'm Marisa, and today felt like the perfect day to talk about why I'm even here. Why am I even sitting behind this microphone? The story I'm about to share today begins right after my second marriage ended in 2016. It was a moment of whiplash. I felt like my life had slammed into a wall at 200 miles per hour. I thought I was stepping into a new chapter, a new beginning. But he was the keeper of the key and the master of deception. The lies, the secrets, the unraveling. They always come tumbling out when you least expect it. In this case, it only took 6 weeks for his web of lies to rise so close to the surface that he saw just one option left. Take the money, run as fast as possible, and never look back. I stayed quiet for almost a decade so I could heal, rebuild, and find my path to true happiness. And you already know, the path of a single mama is never simple. I took my time. I wrestled with the universe. And what came next was a complete rebuild of my life. And none of it looks the way I imagined. So why share this now? First, because we want to change the conversation around single parenting. We can't do this in silence. We have to open the dialogue. We have to invite each other in. We have to make space for more voices at the table. And the second reason? The book. Yes, I wrote a book. It's coming out in July. And here's the part you may not know. The book came before the podcast. Every episode you've heard here has been born out of the message in that book. But today, this isn't a preview. It's a peek inside the world of Love Letters to Single Mamas. Are you ready? Because I promise you, this isn't going where you think. Let's go. I had just survived the ordeal of my soon-to-be second ex-husband moving out. Though truthfully, he never really moved in. 6 weeks into our marriage, and just like that, the bank account was drained. 6 blissful weeks of wedded bliss. Can you imagine? I'll spare you the gritty details, but this is what matters. The single mama with the mostly put together life, at least that's how I felt, had been conned by a real life con artist. I was conned from day one, and that was the hardest statement to say out loud for many years. The wedding dress still hung in the guest room. The thank you cards never got sent. What could I possibly write? Thank you for the gift that he stole? 2 days later, the account was empty. Everything gone. But the moment that cuts the deepest wasn't the money. It was hearing my son, my beautiful boy, say he was scared to fall asleep with his stepdad in the house. That was week 3. There was no justifying, just surviving. My son didn't deserve to feel unsafe. Mama Bear mode was activated. I held him close, and I saw behind his mask once and for all. I knew his truth was hidden under a web of lies, but his carelessness let the pattern slip through, and I saw it. A week after he left, the confirmations rolled in. Multiple sources, multiple stories, more than just taking money from single moms. It turns out, life as a con artist leaves a trail you cannot hide once someone starts digging. That night, after everything came to light, I sank onto the couch with a glass of cheap wine, and it all clicked. I let out a deep, soul-wrenching sigh, and then the sharpest realization of all. It wasn't his coffin being nailed shut. It was mine. My old life, my old illusions, my old entanglements, gone. I saw the coffin, open, empty, waiting for me to lay down everything I was ready to release. There was no time to waste. It was time to rebuild. And as the weight lifted, the next realization arrived like a lightning strike. I was being given a new assignment: to make happiness my ultimate revenge. And in that moment, I let go. I imagined the heaviness floating away, and my perspective shifted like the universe had reached out, tapped me on the forehead, and whispered, "Here's the real lesson. Happiness, true, raw, real happiness, would be my revenge. And if I could release everyone's opinions, everyone's distortion of my story, I would finally be free." That night, peace arrived like a quiet guest at my table. Happiness became my ultimate revenge. And that moment is when I knew I would never go back. However, this wouldn't be an episode of Love Letters to Single Mamas without a love letter. So let's talk intentionally about what I would tell the version of me back then. I would whisper in her ear, "You don't owe anyone your shame. You don't owe anyone your explanation. This isn't just about survival. This is about reclaiming the space inside you where joy gets to live again." The unexpected gift? The gift wasn't just freedom. It was clarity. It was the ability to stand next to another woman who had gone through the same thing and recognize her as a sister, not a rival. It was finding real connection, real purpose, and real self-respect. Mama, if you're listening to this and wondering if you made the right choice, if you're second-guessing yourself, I want you to know you left for a reason. You owe yourself the future you fought for. Let happiness become your quiet revolution. Let peace become your private victory. And when the voices of doubt come calling, remember this: you're not here to carry the weight of anyone's lies. You're here to live in true happiness, because that's the best kind of revenge. True internal peace, true love. And Mama, you deserve it too. Did that story go the way you predicted? I know it didn't. And that makes me very, very happy. Because this is exactly why we need to share our stories. Not for me to say me too, but to say here's one example of how we become. Here's an example of rising. Our stories weave together, and they create a light on the dark path for younger, scared single mamas who are still finding their way. If this is your first time hearing the podcast, welcome home. And yes, you're right. This isn't like other podcasts. This is a gathering of strength, a celebration of progress. Please share this episode with any single mama who's still trying to find her way in the dark. This might be her first opportunity to sit at the table, to feel included, to heal alongside us. And yes, the book is releasing on July 1st. Join the Patreon group now if you want exclusive info about the book and all the events we're building around it. But above all, thank you from me to you. It's not always easy sitting down and walking back into these stories, but I can because of the mission. And I can tell you, every single episode seems to carry a secret message for me as well. And I cannot wait to talk to you again in the next episode. In fact, heads up, there's an extra episode coming out next week for Mother's Day. That means we get 5 new episodes dropping in a week. So set your alert. You don't want to miss it. I'm Marisa, a single mama on a mission. And this is just the beginning.